Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? This is Charlie Clutch, and I'm bringing you the second installment of my Pub Tips mini-series. Today I'm going to be going over some strategies that I've been using in my search games, and I will touch on both Search and Destroy and Search and Rescue. There is a great deal of overlap, but there will be a few differences that I'll bring up as we go on. So without any delay, let's jump right into my most important rule for Search and Destroy, Search and Rescue, and that is to use Ninja or Dead Silence or whatever the game calls the perk where your footsteps don't make a noise. And I put it like that because this is true for all of your Call of Duties. Even if you don't have a headset, your footsteps are easily heard by other players who do have headsets. So if your footsteps can't be heard, your teammates aren't getting confused by your footstep noises, and your opponents won't be able to hear you. And I feel like I can speak for all people who game with headsets in that they are the easiest sources of kills for me. Simply because I can know where you are even if I don't have to see you. It's just another sense I'm able to take advantage of. And number two, and I actually chose this video based off this because you'll see me make this mistake and an opponent catch on to it. So it's a great example, and it's not to do the same thing every round. You'll notice I'll go underground in the middle twice, and the guy will catch on the second time. If I get killed by somebody, I try to look for that spot or that route again, and it usually does translate into a free kill, which is what this guy tried to. It didn't work out, but he tried. And you're better off finding a couple of comfortable routes and running them, but changing them up so that the opponents can't know what you're going to do, but you have go-to routines that you're comfortable doing. Pattern recognition is another easy source of free kills. It is especially easy to exploit that with newer or less experienced Search and Destroy players. So if you don't even go into the pattern habit, then that's one advantage you're not giving the opponent. Now I want to talk about some offense here, and you're gonna know this video also this illustrates the importance of the way the bomb carrier plays. If you have the bomb, never ever rush. You're gonna notice one round where we all go on the right side and I stay in the back and I watch flank for a while my entire team pushes up the right side, because by the time they clear that whole side, I know it's safe for me to just walk up the right side of the map. You're also going to notice another round where I do want to rush, and unfortunately you don't have the comms to hear it, but I call out that I'm not taking the bomb because I'm going to rush mid. That way if I go down, the bomb's not in a place that my teammates aren't able to safely get it back. For you up-and-coming competitive people, I will say that your most experienced player should be running the bomb every round unless you have some teammate who's just doing phenomenal on a round. You typically want to stick to your, I don't like to put it like this, but your smartest, your most experienced, your highest level of Call of Duty intelligence player is the one that typically runs your bomb, because you just trust their decision making. So, number 4, I don't recommend sitting stationary, especially for the entire round. As the game progresses, people tend to shift around the map, and they'll eventually get behind you. And some people even base their entire routes off of killing people from behind. If you watched my Kill Confirm video, it's very similar to the ghosting tactic. It's just on a non-respawn game, basically. But yeah, getting shot in the back, those are freebie kills. And if you're just sticking to a certain spot, even if it's just for the beginning of a round or any point really, I recommend avoiding the most common places, the places that people will always look for. I guess a good example would be on Freight, the 3-story building. They get a lot of attention, people always look at them, and if you got 2 people shooting at you, it's a quick way to get knocked out of a round, and then you're just stuck watching and unable to help your team. Number 5, I want to touch on score streaks. In pub matches of Search and Destroy or Rescue, I put on the support set, and I only run a SATCOM. If you get your class set up so you have 2 extra perk slots, you can put on hardline. This will make it easier to get it. When I play with VG, I'm the bomb carrier 90% of the time, if not more. So I only need 2 kills and a plant during a round. This gives me the possibility of getting a SATCOM every single round, and obviously that doesn't happen, but it certainly isn't out of the ordinary to happen. And once again, regardless if you die with the support streak, your streak doesn't reset just because you died. You'll carry it on. So every 3 or 4 kills or whatever, you're still helping your team. So you're going to help your team in more games than you will have bad games and you won't. And lastly, once you get a SATCOM, since there's no higher score streaks, you start working towards your next SATCOM, and map knowledge, your radar with people showing up on it, is a great way for your entire team to get really easy kills. And number 6, and this is kind of a group of tips for search and rescue only. And firstly, like Kill Confirmed, never die for a tag. Only collect them when it's safe to do so. You'll see me a few times in this game, I believe. I sit there and I look at a tag for a little while before I just run out and get it, because I don't want to just go out, and I'd rather get a guy coming to deny it as opposed to me dying trying to confirm it. And secondly, because the tags need to be collected just like Kill Confirmed, I recommend dropping the sniper rifles. I do think that, especially after the little transition, the way that even in competitive play the sniper rifles turned and started to have a real role in search and destroy, especially if you're somebody who's very good with it, especially with the hit detection being better than it was before, use them in search. Just don't use them in Kill Confirm, because you're going to kill a guy at range at the beginning of the match likely, and then he's going to get revived right away. That's the real strength of snipers, is getting those initial kills so that the team's already down a man, and that advantage is gone in Kill Confirmed, or Search and Rescue, sorry. So it does nothing for your team. So these are my tips for Search and Destroy, Search and Rescue, and I should say that I use these a lot when I played competitively, but you'll see me making sloppy rookie mistakes. I play my pubs much looser, and I kind of just run around a little looser than I do when I actually was competing. So if you see the mistakes, kind of take my word for it. Do as I say, not as I do. I kind of want to sum it up a little bit. Don't play too recklessly or really slow or campy. You kind of need to find a nice balance of how to progress through it. And as unfortunate as it is, experience, especially in this unique type of game, it's the best teacher, is experience, learning what works and what doesn't, never making the same mistake twice. I will say, people often say that you need to use a silencer, and I will say that you can learn to exploit people's reactions to the little blip on the radar and get even more kills. It's all about experience and understanding what the enemy's going to do when you do something. And I'm going to always go back to the headsets. If somebody's using a silencer, you're going to hear it from a mile away anyway, so you'll have a general idea of where somebody is, even if they're not on the radar. They do hold their value. Competitive people, I would not rely on them. Your goal should be to get 1 kill, but because this is a pub tip series, a silencer, especially for all the people who don't use headsets, they can get you multiple kills. I just don't think you have to use one to be successful. So I hope you learned something on this. It is a slightly more complex game type than Kill Confirmed. It does take a lot more practice to get good at it, as opposed to in my opinion, any other game type. So please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. As always, Search and Destroy, Search and Rescue, they're much easier with a group. So feel free to head on over to vghq.org if you're looking for people to play with. And until next time, YouTube, Charlie Clutch out.